Hello, my friends. Mendhi Audlin here. It's What If Wednesday. And today I have some tips that really are universal. I had a friend of mine who was talking about the things that she had put out that she wanted to create, the things that her community, her group had put out that they wanted to create together. And she said the most amazing things have happened. Like all the things that they said they wanted have been showing up. And what she's noticing is that as those things start to show up, there are the impact of that. And sometimes when you have something you want, you put it out there and then it shows up. What happens is we're like, whoa, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then we go back into the way it was before. So today is about when you have those things that you want to create and then you create them, how do you move through that resistance? I've noticed as I've worked with organizations that every time I work with an organization, they all want to grow. Everybody wants to grow, right? But sometimes we don't want to change. And I will tell you, you cannot have growth without also having change. So today's What If Wednesday is all about the things to watch out for to see if maybe perhaps you or your group or your team or your organization may be in some way, maybe unintentionally, sabotaging your success. And it happens, you'll know it's happening because you set out a big goal. And then once you get there, there gets to be some grumbling. I had this experience when I was growing a spiritual community. So when we were first getting started, it was a really small group and everybody was super involved. We had to be. It was the only way we could get the organization to grow. And then we said, we want to grow. We want to be able to make this sustainable. We want to have financial abundance. All these things we put out there on our vision board, we prayed for, we affirmed, we what if upped. This was what we wanted to create, and it started happening, and it happened really, really fast. People started coming in, we were growing, we were thriving, and suddenly that little tight group that we had before was not everything. Now we have these new people coming in. So I want to share with you what are some of the ways we sabotage our growth. Once you start seeing some success, do you pull yourself back into what's familiar, or do you lean into the contrast that is created through that growth and use that as your next stepping off point? So that's what today is all about. And what I've noticed is anytime we are sabotaging our growth, the things that came to mind, all the examples that came to mind to me when I'm like, what's really going on there? They're all tied to ego. Now, a lot of times ego gets a bad rap and people use ego as if it's a negative thing. Ego means the self, and there's nothing negative about that. So what we're going to be talking about today is the difference between a healthy ego and a toxic ego, because there is a difference. And most of when we talk about ego as being negative, we're usually just talking about the toxic side of our ego, putting ourselves above everything else, when really the ego is who you are. It's your I am. And so there is a healthy version of that as well. All right. Are you in for this? Are you ready? Let's go there. Okay. So the first thing that tends to happen, and I'm just going to use this sort of in an organizational sense. So if you say you want to grow your organization, you want to grow your spiritual community, you want to grow your small group. What does that mean? Well, whenever you grow, it means you're going to have new people. And when you have new people, you're going to have new ideas. And there is a really good possibility that some of those new people that come in are going to have better ideas than your ideas that brought them in. Now you're ready to go to the next level because you have this greater pool of ideas to pull from. So the question is, are you willing to allow someone else to have the better idea, or to have the idea that you say, you know what, here's my idea, here's your idea. If everyone wants to go with your idea, I will get behind yours, even if it's not the same. So this is a matter of, healthy ego is going to step into humility and say, you know what, in this scenario, maybe in the past, I was always the person with the brilliant idea, but now we've grown and there's more people to generate those ideas, and maybe mine isn't the best anymore. So I can have humility instead of being stuck in the woundedness of my idea is no longer the best. Or even worse, we're going to use my idea because I'm the one who always creates the ideas. So be looking for that. Are you willing to step back and let other people shine with their ideas and their creativity? All right. Second thing to look for is, and I've seen this happen where, when you start an organization or you're in a culture, a small culture, with other people you're creating together, we kind of get into our rhythm. We get our real estate. I see this when I speak at churches where I speak year after year and the same people are always sitting in the same seats. We map out our real estate. This is my spot. And the truth is, if you want to grow and you're really stepping into a leader's mindset, a healthy ego is going to say, fabulous, we've got new people coming in. I need to adapt. If in the past, when we were small, I always got the best seat in the house because there wasn't any competition for that seat. And now we're growing. So maybe now what I can do as a leader is I'm going to give up my prime real estate at the front or on the aisle or wherever I think is the best seat in the house or the best parking spot. Have you seen this when an organization grows? When you're small, you can park right out front. But when you've got lots of people coming, you're going to park farther away. It's less convenient. You lose your good real estate. Are you willing to be flexible? Are you willing to move? Are you willing to give up the privilege of being there first and be willing to say, you know what, I am going to intentionally park at the back. I'm going to intentionally take a different seat to allow those new people to have a better position where they can actually get engaged at a more powerful way. So are you willing to be flexible? That's what the healthy ego is. Healthy ego is I'm okay being at the back of the bus, at the back of the church, at the back of the parking lot. I don't mind moving around. I'm flexible. Or are you entitled? I've been here the longest and that's my seat and that's where I'm going to be. So if you want to grow, flexibility is the mindset to step into. And the third thing to look out for that just popped into my head as I'm looking at, okay, these are the things that I've seen, especially in organizational growth, is are you willing, when an organization is small, when you're the founder or you're one of the initial team that's pulling things together, you get to be the big fish in the small pond. And that feels pretty good. So the question is, are you willing to be a big fish in a big pond? Are you willing to hold on to your sense of confidence and your sense of knowing and create the space where others can do the same, where it doesn't have to just be you in control and in charge? And so as I look at healthy ego versus an unhealthy ego, are you willing to let your love of others provide the space for others to become big as well? Or do you like that small pond? Because that's a love of power. I like to be the only big fish in this pond. And when we grow the pond, are you willing to support those little fish in becoming bigger and having the opportunities that you had when things were small? So what does that look like? It's really providing the space for other people to have those opportunities to make decisions, to make mistakes. Do you allow the people that are new to make mistakes? Or do you have this mindset of get out of my way? I know how to do it. I can do it better. Even if that is true, does it serve your growth? Does it allow other people to learn and grow so that you can all be big fish in a very big and growing and expansive pond? So those are some thoughts to take away. So if we were to what if up that in the comments, I would love to hear your possibilities for growing without shrinking back once you hit some of the resistance of your edge, your leading edge. When you get to that leading edge, that's how you know you're growing, because you start feeling some pushback. And what if instead of shrinking back when you feel that, what if instead that's the place where the breakthrough happens? So what if today you look at where there's resistance, and what if you choose consciously to step into the breakthrough? What if you actually find that as you provide the space that you love being the big fish in the big pond? What if it allows you to surround yourself with others who may even grow bigger than you? And what if that allows everybody to be healthier, to be happier, to be more fulfilled? So what if growth and change are both good things? What if a healthy ego is not only embracing that change, but intentionally leading the way? So that's the possibility. I'd love to hear from you. What are your ideas? What are your thoughts? What are your comments? Post them in the comments and we'll what if up it together. And if you're not a part of our What If Up community, if you're like, what is she talking about? Join us at whatifup.org. You'll get access to our Facebook group, and that's where the conversation keeps on rolling. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to connect with you, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here on What If Wednesday. Bye, friends.